I would like to thank Sinn Féin for bringing this motion. This is not the way to do policy, that we're forced to bring motions on this occasion, Féin. And then there are amendments. I understand some of the amendments, some of them I couldn't agree with because they're not enforceable. But we're left like this, dealing with policy in this manner, which is totally unacceptable. And if ye had bona fides in this matter, ye would have tabled a debating time and allowed us to hear the measures that you brought in while the moratorium was there, but you didn't do that. And you've been forced screaming every step of the way to tell us what you're doing. In the meantime, down in Galway, we have the Simon community telling us that we're now heading for the tourist season. The accommodation that was there for emergency accommodation will not be available. And I know it's difficult to listen to all of this, ministers, but it is important. This is the only time we get a few minutes to try and highlight. We are not negative. We are not here to say we're bound by ideology. I'm here because we have almost 12,000, there's no need to exaggerate because the figures are so damning, 11,754 people homeless. And you're planning to lift the moratorium on evictions coming into effect on Lawn and Ramadan, April Fool's Day. And you don't even see the lack of humour in that. And they have no place to go, and we've asked you repeatedly where will they go, and you have no answer. Here's Simon community on the ground in Galway. They do a quarterly report every quarter. There are no places available. Everybody has read out a testimony. Time won't let me. A family here waiting and waiting, no place to go, trying to raise 4 children, someone doing exams, children as young as 4 and 5, nowhere to go. And did you come into this stall and tell us what your plan of action was? No, you did not. What you have done is given empty boasting. And I'll come specifically to that for my last minute. Let me just point out the task force in Galway that was set up because there was a crisis in Galway. And finally you conceded to set up a task force. Where are the reports, Minister? Not one report. November 22, the chair was going to have a report. We're now almost in April and no report on the analysis of the housing crisis in Galway, where rents are the 2nd worst in the country. And then you boast about the schemes you bring in. And we have the Taoiseach and the Taoiseach telling us the Help to Buy scheme. The Help to Buy scheme is helping the wrong people. The analysis that you've done and the various reports have said, we would not start here. But you know what? It's embedded now so we can't take it out. Nearly £1 billion on the Help to Buy scheme. Helping consultants. They're in my own family. I absolutely say, go and avail of the scheme. But you must analyse who you're helping in relation to a Help to Buy scheme, where a quarter of them or a third don't need help with deposits. And then you've the mortgage to rent scheme. Never a single analysis done of the value for money. Not a single. And then you invite a company to come in, and I understand the housing agency or whatever the relevant agency has now suspended all contracts with that private company in relation to mortgage to rent. And all of this pieces of a jigsaw that you pick and choose to suit the narrative. And all of the time we have commodified housing. We've made it impossible. And you trade insults across a room and say, we don't want people to have houses. Yes, I do. And I want them to have public housing and private housing, and I want the prices to come down, and I want to stop the absolute idiocy of trading empty insults across a room and acknowledge that the very policies that you're pursuing are causing the problem.